Chapter 4. The 3 Kinds of Business Systems. Your goal is to own a system and have people work that system for you. In moving to the B quadrant, remember that your goal is to own a system and have people work that system for you. You can develop the business system yourself, or you can look for a system to purchase. Think of the system as the bridge that will allow you to cross safely from the left side of the cash flow quadrant to the right side. It's your bridge to financial freedom. There are 3 main types of business systems commonly in use today. They are 1. Traditional C corporations, where you develop your own system. 2. Franchises, where you buy an existing system. 3. Network marketing, where you buy into and become part of an existing system. Each business system has its strengths and weaknesses, yet each ultimately does the same thing. If operated properly, each system will provide a steady stream of income without much physical effort on the part of the owner once it's up and running. The problem is getting it up and running. In 1985, when people asked Kim and me why we were homeless, we simply said, "We're building a business system." It was a business system that was a hybrid of the traditional C corporation and a franchise. As stated before, the B quadrant requires a knowledge of both systems and people. Our decision to develop our own system meant a lot of hard work. I'd taken this route before, and my company had failed. Although it was successful for years, it suddenly went broke in its 5th year. When success came to us, we weren't ready with an adequate system. Our system began to break down even though we had hard-working people. We felt like we were on a good-sized yacht that had sprung a leak in a location we could not determine. You may lose 2 or 3 companies. When I was in high school, my rich dad told Mike and me that he had nearly lost a company when he was in his 20s. That was the best and worst experience of my life, he said. As much as I hated it, I learned more by repairing it and eventually turning it into a huge success. Knowing that I was contemplating starting my own company, Rich Dad said to me, "You may lose 2 or 3 companies before you build a successful one that lasts." He was training Mike to take over his empire, but because my dad was a government employee, I wasn't going to inherit an empire. I had to build my own. Success is a poor teacher. Success is a poor teacher, Rich Dad always said. We learn the most about ourselves when we fail, so don't be afraid of failing. Failing is part of the process of success. You can't have success without failure. Maybe it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, but in 1984, my 3rd company went down. I had made millions and lost millions and was starting all over again when I met Kim. The reason I know she didn't marry me for my money is because I didn't have any money. When I told her what I was going to do, build company number 4, she didn't back away. "I'll build it with you," was her reply, and she was true to her word. Along with another partner, we built a business system with 11 offices worldwide that generated income regardless of whether we worked or not. Building it from nothing to 11 offices took 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears, but it worked. Both dads were happy for me and sincerely congratulated me. The hard part. Mike often said to me, "I'll never know if I can do what you or my dad did." The system was handed to me. All I had to do was learn how to run it. I'm certain he could have developed his own successful system because he learned well from his dad, but I understand his doubt. The hard thing about building a company from scratch is that you have 2 big variables, the system and the people building the system. If both the people and the system are leaky, the chances for failure are great. Sometimes it's hard to know whether the problem is the person or the system that is failing. Before franchises. When my rich dad began teaching me about becoming a bee, there was only one kind of business: big business, a major corporation that usually dominated the town. In our town in Hawaii, it was the sugar plantation that controlled virtually everything, including other big businesses. So there were big businesses and mom-and-pop S-type businesses, with little in between. Working at the top levels of those big sugar companies wasn't a realistic goal for people like Rich Dad and me. Minorities, such as the Japanese, Chinese, and Hawaiians, worked in the fields but were never allowed in the boardroom. So Rich Dad learned everything he knew, simply by trial and error. As I started high school, we began to hear about a thing called franchises, but none had come to our little town. We hadn't yet heard about McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, or Taco Bell. They weren't part of our vocabulary while I was studying with Rich Dad. When we did hear rumors about them, we heard they were illegal, fraudulent scams and dangerous. Rather than believe the rumors, Rich Dad flew to California to check out franchising for himself. When he returned, all he said was, "Franchises are the wave of the future," and he bought the rights to 2 of them. His wealth skyrocketed as the idea of franchises caught on, and he began selling his rights to other people so they could have a chance at building their own businesses. When I asked him if I should buy one from him, he simply said, "No, you've come this far in learning how to build your own business system. Don't stop now. Franchises are for people who don't want to build or don't know how to build their own systems. Besides, you don't have the $250,000 it takes to buy a franchise from me." It's hard to imagine today a city without a McDonald's or Burger King or Pizza Hut on every corner. Yet there was a time, not too long ago, when they didn't even exist. How to learn to become a bee. The way I learned to become a bee was by being an apprentice to my rich dad. His son and I were both E's learning to be bees. And that is the way many people learn. It's called on-the-job training. This is the way many closely held family empires are passed on from one generation to the next. The problem is that not too many people are privileged or lucky enough to learn the behind-the-scenes aspects of becoming a bee. Most corporate management training programs are just that. The company only trains you to be a manager. Few teach what it takes to be a bee. Often, people get stuck in the S quadrant on their journey to the B quadrant. This happens primarily because they don't develop a strong enough system and end up becoming an integral part of the system. Successful bees develop a system that will run without their involvement. There are 3 ways you can make it to the B side quickly. 1. Find a mentor. My rich dad was my mentor. A mentor is someone who has already done what you want to do and is successful at doing it. Don't find an advisor. An advisor is someone who tells you how to do it but may not have personally done it. Most advisors are in the S quadrant. The world is filled with S's trying to tell you how to be a B or an I. My rich dad was a mentor, not an advisor. One of the biggest tips my rich dad gave me was this: be careful of the advice you take. While you must keep your mind open, always be aware of which quadrant the advice is coming from. My rich dad taught me about systems and how to be a leader of people, not a manager of people. Managers often see their subordinates as inferiors. Leaders must direct people who are often smarter. A traditional way of learning about systems is getting your MBA from a prestigious school and then getting a fast-track job that takes you up the corporate ladder. An MBA is important because you learn the basics of accounting and how the financial numbers relate to the systems of a business. Yet, having an MBA doesn't mean you're competent to run all the systems that ultimately make up a complete business system. To learn about all the systems necessary in a big company, you'll need to spend 10 to 15 years there and learn all the different aspects of the business. You should then be prepared to leave and start your own company. Working for a successful major corporation is like being paid by your mentor. Even with a mentor and/or years of experience, this first method is labor-intensive. Creating your own system requires a lot of trial and error, upfront legal costs, and paperwork. All of this occurs at the same time you're trying to develop your people. 2. Buy a franchise. Another way to learn about systems is to buy a franchise. When you buy a franchise, you're buying a tried and proven operating system. By buying the franchise system, instead of trying to create your own system, you can focus on developing your people. Buying the system removes one big variable when you're learning how to be a bee. Many banks will loan money for a franchise, but not for a small startup business, because they recognize the importance of systems and how starting with a good system lowers their risk. A word of caution. Franchises are hard for people with an S-quadrant mentality who want to do their own thing. If you buy a franchise system, be an E. Just do it exactly the way they tell you to do it. Nothing is more tragic than the courtroom fights between franchisees and franchisors. The fights happen because the people who buy the system really want to do it their way, not the way the person who created the system wants it done. If you want to do your own thing, then do it after you've mastered both systems and people. My highly educated dad failed, even though he bought a famous ice cream franchise. Although the system was excellent, the business still failed. In my opinion, the franchise failed because his partners were all E's and S's who didn't know what to do when things started to go bad and didn't ask for support from the parent company. In the end, the partners fought among themselves and the business went down. They forgot that a true B is more than a system. It's also dependent on good people to operate the system. Banks don't lend money to people without systems. If a bank won't lend money to a small business without a system, why should you? Almost daily, people come to me with business plans with the hope of raising money for their idea or their project. Most of the time, I turn them down for one main reason. The people raising the money don't know the difference between a product and a system. I've had friends ask me to invest money in developing a new music CD, and others who want me to help form a new nonprofit to change the world. As much as I might like the project, the product, or the person, I'll turn them down if they have little or no experience in creating and running business systems. Just because you can sing doesn't mean you understand the systems of marketing, finance and accounting, sales, human resources, and the many other systems that are required to keep a business afloat and make it successful. For a business to survive and thrive, 100% of all the systems must be functioning and accountable. For example, an airplane is a system of systems. If it takes off and, let's say, the fuel system fails, there often is a crash. The human body is also a system of systems. Most of us have had a loved one die because one of the body systems failed. The same thing happens in business. That is why building a tried and true business system isn't easy. It's the systems you forget about or don't pay attention to that cause you to crash and burn. That's why I rarely invest with an E or S who has a new product or idea. Professional investors tend to invest in proven systems with people who know how to run those systems. If banks lend based only on tried and true systems and the person who is going to run them, then you should do the same if you want to be a smart investor. 3. Get involved in network marketing, also called multi-level marketing or direct distribution systems. Just as with franchises, the U.S. legal system initially attempted to outlaw network marketing. It has been banned and restricted in some countries. Any new system or idea often goes through a period of being classified as strange and suspicious. At first, I also thought that network marketing was a scam. But over the years, I've studied the various systems available through network marketing, watched several friends become successful at this form of B, and changed my mind. After I dropped my prejudices and began researching network marketing, I found many people who were sincerely and diligently building successful network marketing businesses. When I met these people, I saw the impact their business had on other people's lives and financial futures. I began to truly appreciate the value of the network marketing system. For a reasonable entry fee, often around $200, people can buy into an existing system and immediately start building their business. Due to the technological advances in the computer industry, these organizations are totally automated, and the headaches of paperwork, order processing, distribution, accounting, and follow-up are almost entirely managed by the network marketing software systems. New distributors can focus all of their efforts on building their business instead of worrying about the normal startup headaches of a small business. One of my old friends, who did more than $1 billion in real estate business in 1 year, recently signed on as a network marketing distributor and began building his business. I was surprised to find him so diligently building a network marketing business because he definitely didn't need the money. When I asked him why, he explained it this way. I went to school to become a CPA, and I have an MBA in finance. When people ask me how I became so rich, I tell them about the multi-million-dollar real estate transactions I do and the hundreds of thousands of dollars in passive income I receive each year from it. I then notice that some of them withdraw or shy away. We both know that their chances of doing multi-million-dollar real estate investments like I do are slim to none. So I began to look for a way I could help them achieve the same level of passive income I developed from real estate without going back to school for 6 years and spending 12 years investing in real estate. I believe network marketing gives people the opportunity to build up the passive income they need for support while they learn to become professional investors. That is why I recommend network marketing to them. Even if they have little money, they can still invest sweat equity for 5 years and begin to generate more than enough passive income to begin investing. By developing their own business, they have the free time to learn and the capital to invest with me in my bigger deals. After researching several opportunities, my friend joined a network marketing company as a distributor and started a network marketing business with people who might someday want to invest with him. He's now doing well in his network marketing business as well as in his investment business. He told me, "I did it initially because I wanted to help people find the money to invest, and now I'm getting rich from a whole new business." Twice a month, he holds classes on Saturdays. At the first meeting, he teaches people about business systems and people, or how to develop into a successful B. On the second meeting of the month, he teaches them about financial literacy and financial intelligence in order to turn them into savvy I's. His class sizes are growing rapidly. The pattern he recommends is the same one I recommend. A personal franchise. That's why today I recommend that people consider network marketing. Many famous franchises cost $1 million or more to buy. Network marketing is like buying a personal franchise, often for less than $200. I know much of network marketing is hard work, but success in any quadrant is hard work. I personally generate no income as a network marketing distributor. I researched several network marketing companies and their compensation plans. While doing my research, I did join several companies just because their products are so good and I use them as a consumer. The one recommendation I have for finding a good organization to help you move to the right side of the cash flow quadrant is to focus not so much on the product, but on the education the organization offers. There are network marketing organizations that are only interested in having you sell their system to your friends, and there are organizations primarily interested in educating you and helping you succeed. From my research into network marketing, I found two important things you can learn through their programs that are essential to become a successful bee. 1. To be successful, you need to learn to overcome your fear of being rejected and to stop worrying about what other people say and think about you. So many times I've met people who hold themselves back simply because of what their friends might say if they did something different. I know, because I was the same way. Coming from a small town, everyone knew what everyone else was up to. If someone didn't like what you were doing, the whole town heard about it and made your business their business. One of the things I told myself over and over was, what you think of me is none of my business. What is most important is what I think about myself. One of the reasons my rich dad encouraged me to work in sales for the Xerox Corporation for 4 years wasn't because he liked copiers, but because he wanted me to overcome my shyness and fear of rejection. 2. To be successful, you must also learn to lead people. Working with different kinds of people is the hardest thing about business. The people I've met who are successful in any business are those who are natural leaders. The ability to get along with and inspire people is a priceless skill, a skill that can be learned. As I said, the transition from the left side to the right side isn't so much what you do, but who you have to become. If you learn how to handle rejection, how to not be affected by what other people think of you, and how to lead people, you'll find prosperity. So I endorse any network marketing organization that is primarily committed to developing you as a human being rather than developing you into a salesperson. I would seek organizations that, 1, are proven with a successful track record, a distribution system, and a compensation plan that have been successful for years. 2, have a business opportunity you can succeed with, believe in, and share confidently with others. 3, have ongoing long-term educational programs to develop you as a human being. Self-confidence is vital on the right side of the Cashflow Quadrant. 4, have a strong mentor program. You want to learn from leaders, not advisors. You want to learn from people who are already leaders, who are on the right side, and who want you to succeed. 5, have people you respect and enjoy being with. If the organization meets these 5 criteria, then and only then look at the product. Too many people look at the product instead of the business system and the organization behind the product. In some of the organizations I looked into, their pitch was, the product sells itself. It's easy. If you're looking to be a salesperson, an S, then the product is the most important thing. But if you're developing into a long-term B, then the system, lifelong education, and the people are most important. A friend and colleague of mine who is knowledgeable in this industry reminded me about the value of time, one of our most precious assets. A true success story in a network marketing company is when your commitment of time and hard work in the short term results in significant long-term passive income. Once you've built a strong organization below you, you can stop working and your revenue stream will continue from the efforts of the organization you've built. The most important key to success with a network marketing company is a long-term commitment on your part, as well as the organization's part, in order to mold you into the business leader you want to become. A system is a bridge to freedom. Being homeless was not an experience I want to repeat. Yet for Kim and me, the experience was priceless. Today, freedom and security are found not so much in what we have, but in what we know we can create with confidence. Since that time, we have created or helped develop a real estate company, an oil company, a mining company, and 2 education companies. So the process of learning how to create a successful system was beneficial for us. Yet I don't recommend the process to anyone unless they truly want to go through it. Until only a few years ago, the possibility of a person becoming successful in the B quadrant was only available to those who were brave or rich. Kim and I must have been brave because we certainly weren't rich. Many people stay stuck on the left side because they feel the risks involved in developing their own system are too great. For them, it's smarter to remain safe and secure in a job. Today, primarily due to changes in technology, the risk in becoming a successful business owner is greatly reduced, and the opportunity to build your own or leverage an existing business system is available to virtually everyone. Franchises and network marketing took away the hard part of developing your own system. You acquire the rights to a proven system, and then your only job is to develop your people. Think of business systems as bridges that provide a path for you to cross safely from the left side to the right side of the cash flow quadrant.